Congratulations to the class of 2020. Welcome to the So Now You Graduated, Now What? My name is Dr. Shirley Planton. I am the Chief Executive Consultant for U-Turn Youth Consulting. And tonight, we really just want to have a conversation about seniors. We want to extend our heartfelt congratulations. We want to say we are with you. As you can see, many of us are wearing our cap and gowns, or at least our cap. We want to stand in solidarity with our seniors, class of 2020. We know it has not been easy. The pandemic has not been nice to y'all, but as I've been saying across all of my social media platforms, please do not let this moment define you, but in fact, you define this moment. So I want to say thank you for being with us. This should be an evening of really chilling, relaxed conversation. This is about our seniors. This is about making sure that they're prepared, making sure that they have an avenue to answer some questions because school has been closed, their CAP advisors, their counselors are not there. So we wanted to fill in the gap, stand in the gap via U-Turn and say, we stand with you. Who is U-Turn and what do we do? So U-Turn is an at-risk youth consulting firm where what we do, our main mission is to unmask urban youth violence and the backstories that lead to urban youth violence by educating, advocating for these young people, but more importantly, in hopes of elevating the service, the quality of service, and the empathy in which those services are delivered. And because of that, it is always a pleasure on my part when I can get some of my favorite people together to say, let's have a conversation. Let's do something special with the seniors. Let's do something special for the seniors. So we have some of the experts in the field, and then I've got some real seniors who have already got their cap and gown, who's getting ready to officially be grown, y'all, in about a couple of days, be done with 12th grade. And then I've got some incoming seniors who are juniors right now, but they too will be seniors in a couple of days. So I wanted to say all of that to say, I hope that this virtual town hall inspires somebody. If you're a parent and you have a senior or you have a child that's about to be a junior that's about to be a senior, this is a great conversation. If you have a freshman or a sophomore, this is a great conversation. We want to plant the seed as early as possible, and we want to say thanks for being with us. So let me introduce some of my folks, and I'm gonna give them an opportunity to introduce themselves, and then we'll get right into the conversation. So I'm gonna just do roll call. I'm gonna start with Mr. Ishmael Joseph.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Y'all all can hear me? Everyone can hear me? I'm good? Live? All right, well, just to introduce myself, my name is Ishmael Joseph. I'm the founder and CEO of Student Life 101. The idea behind our organization is really to provide different pathways to help to navigate through education, helping you guys to discover your purpose professionally and, of course, personally. I'm a career specialist by trade, so I work with Purdue University Global, have over 10 years of experience in higher education, admissions, education advising, and several other departments. And I'm just here to kind of love upon our seniors and, of course, make sure that you're adequately prepared for the next step. I mean, this is your time right now. We not only congratulate you, but we're very excited that you're getting ready to embark upon this journey. So thank you all for having me. Let's go.
No, seriously, let me pick another favorite person. Jency, your turn.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm so lucky to be alongside all of you guys tonight. I'm very excited for the seniors that are going to graduate soon. I work with U-Turn, and I'm coming on here tonight to talk a little bit more about what the transition really looks like going from high school to college for the first time, and how maybe that will change because we are all in quarantine right now, but don't be scared. It's still okay. And I'm also going to touch base on scholarships because, you know, the money is really important. Time is money when you're in college. So we want to take advantage of any scholarships that are out there.
Thank you. Let me go to somebody who will talk about some discipline. Tia.
Hi, everybody. My name is Katia. I am the administrator for U-Turn Youth Consulting. I'm going to talk about time management and preparing for college and how important it is to do so because unlike high school, there is no bells, there is no reminders to go on. It's all about what you do and how you manage your time, and I'm going to talk about that.
Thank you. So, you know, after we talk about all that, where my professor at? Professor Noel, your turn.
Hello, Kings and queens, my name is Jeff Noel. I'd like to thank Dr. Shirley Planton for this incredible opportunity to address you all. I'm a professor at Florida Memorial University, South Florida's only HBCU. Expectations once you enter into higher education, and obviously my goal is all.
Did we lose the professor? Well, when he hop back on, we'll continue. So let's go to Wiggy. Go ahead, Miss Wiggy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Woodland Wiggy Pierre. Yes, Wiggy is a nickname. I am a branding consultant at Bluemark LLC. I basically do branding and marketing and social media marketing for small businesses. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about the importance of social media and its impacts.
Thank you. And then last but not least, my brother Ezra. Let's talk about some business, Ezra.
Yo, what's going on, class? Should I dab? What is this called? I don't know what it's called, but you know, and you know, you got me with the kids, so you already know. You already know you're in trouble.
Please stop.
But my name is Ezra Gervais. I am the CEO of Baton Youth Services LLC, which is a youth and family financial empowerment organization. So we're gonna talk about alternatives to college and post-education. Not everybody needs to go to college to be successful in whatever passion that God has planted in them. So that's my goal, is to help discover that and give people the confidence to go about a different path in business and as an entrepreneur.
Great stuff. So back to Professor Noel. We lost you. Good to have you back.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here. I'd like to thank Dr. Shirley Planton for this unique opportunity. I'm not sure if the tassels was going to left or the right now, but right now it's just swinging in my face. But I'm going to speak about professor expectations. I'm a professor at Florida Memorial University, South Florida's only HBCU, and I believe that I have a lot of advice that I can give you. And being that I served as president of the student government at Florida International University at the beautiful Biscayne Bay campus, an incredible I-75 center, I can also give you advice on student involvement and what that means for you and how you can definitely make your degree worth it while you're in the university. And of course, I'm going to empower you as well, letting you know that your life has purpose, worth, and value.
All right, now, so before I get to my seniors, right, y'all know we couldn't have this conversation without the young people. So let me introduce Tequila. Tequila, introduce yourself for us.
Hello, guys. My name is Tequila. I'm an incoming senior, and I attend iTech at Miami's Mega Magnet High School.
Thank you. Who do you represent? Who are you representing tonight? What organization you represent tonight?
I'm representing United Way Youth Institute.
Beautiful. Nakia, your turn.
Hi, my name is Nikki Alexander. I'm currently attending School for Advanced Studies Wilson campus, and I'll be a senior in the upcoming academic year. And I'm also a member of the United Way Youth Institute Fellowship.
So special shout out for the United Way Youth Institute. Awesome program. They're doing amazing work. And now for the reason we are here, our seniors. So let's start by introducing the lady. Where is Anne-Laurice? Anne-Laurice, please tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Hello all, my name is Anne-Laurice. I'm about to be a first-year student in college, and I am on the path of discovering what my passions are within.
Thank you. And then last but not least, Mr. Wilkinson.
Hello everybody, my name is Wilkinson. I'm going to be a freshman in college. My goal is to attend UTI in Orlando. It's a technical institution for cars. I'm very happy that I'm starting very soon, and yeah.
So as you guys can see, we've got a fully loaded, interactive. We plan on making this a lot of Q&A. So we're gonna start with each of our experts giving us a little bit, giving our young people some information, all of the parents that might be listening. If your child is a first generational college student, or your child is just coming out and now you're actually, what am I going to do? So now they graduated and they think they grown. They think they make rules in the house. They're going to leave the house and come home when they want, all that good stuff. But part of what we want to do is ensure that we do not allow COVID-19 to take away the opportunity of, one, celebrating their milestone of where they are right now. But two, we also want to make sure that they have the proper guidance. They have the opportunity to ask questions to people who they think will give them the absolute truth. So anybody who knows Dr. Shirley, I'm all about keeping it 100% real. So I'm gonna start with Ismail, and everybody has 2 minutes to kind of give us an overview. Give these young people an overview, the people that are watching, the viewers, as well as our seniors and juniors that are part of the chat, because there will be a Q&A session specifically from the juniors and seniors. This ain't for us. It's not about us. It's about them. We want them to know, which is why we all agreed to wear our caps. We've been where they are, and we want to walk with them. We want to have their back, and we want to ensure that they succeed. So I'm going to start with Ismail. Go ahead, Ismail.
Hey, listen, thank you so much, Dr. Shirley, for having me. You called me to talk about 3 important things. I got 2 minutes, so I'm going to roll with this as fast as I possibly can, which is admissions, financial aid, and class schedules. Listen, I'm a believer. I'm going to throw that in there. I believe in Proverbs 15:22. It says, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. So we want to make sure that you have a game plan. If you don't have a plan, then you definitely plan to fail. So let me give you guys some statistics that are startling if you don't know as a high school senior going into college, or even a junior going into your senior year. 30% of undergraduates, they change their major at least once within the first 3 years of initial enrollment. So that's an issue that we want to make sure that we're preventing you from falling privy to. 40% of bachelor's degree holders would have studied a different major if they had to do it all over again. So these are statistics that really come against you as a senior or you as a junior, with the thought of going to college, that a lot of you guys are going to eventually change your major or, switch things around, or make sure, or not necessarily have a game plan as to what you need to do going in. And we want to make sure that we prevent that. So when it comes up to admissions, you got to understand that now is the time where universities and colleges alike are changing the framework of how they actually admit and recruit students. Y'all know this COVID pandemic that has happened. So admissions departments are now doing virtual admissions fairs. So if you're a student, if you're a parent, understand that colleges are not going to change their recruiting efforts. All they're going to do is change their approach. So they're having virtual admissions fairs all throughout the country. So it's important for you to connect with the different colleges. Now, financial aid, and I know Jency's going to talk a bit about the money aspect of it, but financial aid, as far as your FAFSA is concerned, those of you guys that are high school seniors that have not completed your FAFSA, let me say that again, your free application for federal student aid, do not wait. You have until June the 30th. That is your deadline. Now, we understand this COVID pandemic that is taking place, and it's changed the framework of how we do things. So a lot of institutions are being a lot lenient when it comes up to some of the issues that came along with the pandemic. Like if you have a parent that has lost their job or job loss or anything that's been negatively affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, they're willing to work with you. So universities and colleges are willing to work with you, but it's important for you to make that deadline, okay? So when it comes up to your financial aid, make sure you complete your FAFSA. And I think Jency's going to talk a bit about scholarships that are available to you. Students, this is your time right now to make sure that you get as much funding as you can from what is offered with the government, and try your best to avoid student loan debt. Oh, Dr. Shirley, they messed me up by me putting it. Y'all shouldn't have put me in here, because a lot of us,
student loan debt.
Listen, 44 million people in the United States right now are paying off $1.6 trillion of student loan debt. 1.6, right? And you're talking about the repayment schedules right now are 20 years or more. You're not going to be able to pay off your student loans in 4 years or 5 years. The average student, it takes 20 plus years. How can you avoid that? It's very simple. Be mindful of the university or the colleges that you choose to go to. A lot of us are really hyping with this hype that we want to go to, I want to go out of state, or I want to get out of, my mom's house, and I just want to be free. When the college tuitions on average are $18,000 per academic school year. So you times that by 4, And then think about the type of job or career you're going to have post-graduation. If it's not in direct alignment with what you've already borrowed, in other words, if it's not 2 times what you've borrowed, you're going to run into some issues. And a lot of us, I'm going to put my hands up. Y'all see me? Do y'all see me? I'm one of them, okay, that went to school, got this degree, looks beautiful on the wall. Hello, right? Got all the student loan debt. Sally Mae is in my bedroom. She got a second bedroom in my house, Sally Mae. And she got a cousin named Nelnet and an uncle named Fed Loans. Okay, so you want to make sure that you, as much as you possibly can, literally eliminate the debt that you're going to occur when it comes up to going to school. And how do you do that? Pick and choosing the right types of universities and colleges that are not as expensive if you can't afford going to school or paying that amount of money. So that was admissions. You know, the admissions, they're still age. And last but not least, your class schedules. Students, I'm going to tell you right now, choosing your classes or your class schedules or your majors, it all depends on one thing and one thing only. It starts with you knowing yourself. You have to know you. If you don't know you, when you get to college, and Jency will tell you, and a lot of doing check boxes like myself, you know, MySpace back then. Y'all don't judge me. Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't judge me. But that's the reason.
Telling your age right now, bro.
Don't do it.
Telling your age.
Don't do it. But that's the reason why I chose computers and technology, not because I had a sincere passion for it, which was because there was one particular thing that I like. And when you choose things based upon what you like, you got to understand that as an individual, your likes change in different seasons of your life. So you can't base your decision on choosing a major based upon what you like to do. It has to be a passion. And how you know it's a passion is that it moves your feet. Jefferson Noel, Pursuit of Passion on Mondays, he talked about that. The passion moves your feet. So that's how you know that it's something that you're really passionate about. So again, when it comes up to admissions, these practices, recruiters are doing it. Financial aid, fill out your FAFSA, make sure that you eliminate your debt. Do not try choosing your class schedule or your majors, making sure that you know yourself. And I'll share a resource with you guys. It's called the Holland Code Assessment. That assessment is going to help you to dictate your personality style and your learning style so that you can choose the best possible major or career path that's conducive for you. Go ahead, Shirley.
Thank you, Is. So let's go to Jency. Jency, we talked a little bit about the money. So let's talk about, what it looks like when we talk about scholarships, what types of scholarships are out there. And most importantly, not there, because I know you work with a lot of onboarding, right? What does that look like for someone like Anne Larice or Dickinson or any of our Wilkinson, or any of our other seniors that are getting ready to come into a new campus, whether it be virtually or, an actual brick and mortar?
Okay, so Ismail said a lot of really great pointers. Hold on, let me set my timer right now. But one of the biggest things that I think that freshmen and transfers fail to realize when they're coming into college is that everybody that you went to high school with, forget about them. Like literally, like you're going to meet so many new people. You're going to meet so many different mindsets of individuals in college that like you're going to be able to start over. Like if maybe you didn't come in with the greatest GPA, forget about that. You're starting off with a brand new slate when you're coming into college. And that should be like the most thing that you should worry about, because now it's your time to really like focus on what you want to do and what your passion is. And I know that's a little bit hard, and I feel like passion is a really heavy word, but honestly, like being in college is really going to help you find that. And it might take time, but that's okay because everybody's path is different. Another thing that is really important to realize when you're coming in as a freshman is that not everybody has the same path as you, and that's okay. Everybody's coming in differently, different ages, maybe different backgrounds, and everything is different. But the one thing that you all have in common is that you're coming into your freshman year of college. You're all gonna have that in common, and maybe you all have the same anxieties, but that's okay. Like everybody goes through it. Like I went through it. I'm pretty sure Dr. Shirley went through it. Like everybody on this chat probably has gone through it. So it's okay. It's not anything new. Yes, even you.
You throwing shit. Just make sure.
Another thing I really want to touch upon with the scholarships something that helped me, and I think that is really important to realize, is that when you're looking for scholarships, try and look for local scholarships more than just like those random like scholarship websites that promote like a billion scholarships every day. Try local first so that you can target your scholarships around like organizations or like small like businesses that are giving away money for free. Like try to do those first. Like literally put scholarships in North Miami. Like try and see what pops up there, to try and get as many as you can. And also realize that maybe sometimes your friends, family, teachers, guidance counselors, whoever, use them as a resource. Ask them, hey, have you heard of any scholarships that I can apply to? Have you heard of anything open up, anything like that? Because you never know what could like pop up, because it's impossible to try and get knowledge of every single scholarship that's out there. And then my last tip about scholarships is to treat it as a job. Scholarships that require the most work usually have fewer applicants. But those, like, if you actually sit down and take your time and like fill it out and really like put your heart and soul into those scholarships, they'll see you as who you are and they'll pick you because they know that you put the time and work to try and get the money that will go towards your education. But yeah.
Thank you, Jency. Look at y'all sticking to the time. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. So, okay, let me get this straight. Just to recap, in case we got folks that's just jumping on. We talked about admissions. We talked about picking classes. We talked about financial aid. We just talked about trying to getting some scholarships and trying to find yourself on the campus when you get there, right? Understanding that there may be a possibility we're all not the same, but that's the beauty of college, right? Because we come from all over the world. So now, let's talk about what it means to succeed. What are some of the skills that you need to succeed? And I'm gonna turn that over to Katia because that's gonna be some very important points. Katia?
Yeah, so what I wanna touch on, which is I think is important to what Jency and Ishmael talked about, is time management and preparations, because no matter what you do after this, you're going to be held more accountable for where you need to be and when you need to be there, a lot more than you were in high school. Oh, not everything runs on Black people time, Haitian people time.
Yes, colored people time.
Right, exactly. It's not going to be like that. Jobs won't call you and say, hey, get ready for work. Professors definitely won't call you and say, hey, get ready for class. I think we've all had to learn that one way or the other. With time management, one thing that I think that we as a generation need to acknowledge and take advantage of more are the resources that we have that they didn't have back then. We have a lot of apps. There's calendars. We have literally technology here as our right-hand aid to help us to be able to manage our time better and prepare better. As a senior right now, especially if you're going into being a senior or whether you're about to graduate, preparation is very important because you're going to be held accountable for what you need to do. When college starts, there's no bell to transition to the next class. You have to prepare your classes how you, just like Ishmael said, you can learn the way that you learn, you can prepare for that. College makes that easier for you. If you are a late riser and prefer to be up and ready for class, you can make afternoon classes. If you want to do stuff early, if you have to have a job while you're in college, time management is key because whether you realize it or not, like, you have to be accountable for your time and where you have to be there because no one's going to stick up for you at the end of the day when you're late or when you don't show up. You have apps, alarms, electronic calendars, planners. For me, instance, I literally walk around with a planner. Like anybody says, hey, you want to go somewhere? I'm like, oh, let me check my calendar. Hold on. I like literally, I can't function without it. And when in college, it's very important because especially when you're planning your schedule, like Ishmael said, if you're planning to take 4 classes and all of them require 5-page essays, how you gonna have time to do that when you have a part-time job and you got to be home at a certain time, or you have like certain classes that don't work? Like all of that is going to be up to you. They're not going to give you your class schedule on a paper and be like, be here, here, and here. That's all up to you. So it's very important that you keep up to that.
I want to ask you a question, Tia, because you raised the valid point. So I know a lot of people going to college talking about, I want to go to all the parties, the frat parties. I want to be at all the parties, all the club parties. Let's talk about the parties, right? And the discipline and timing, because you're talking about those 5-page papers, 10-page papers. I'm gonna give you about 30 seconds to address that before I move on to Jeff, because Jeff's gonna go right into what that professor wants to see.
Well, those parties for sure are going to be happening every weekend, that's for sure. And you're going to want to go to every single one of them. But unfortunately, as with college comes, you have to have discipline. There's no way that you can get through anything after this point without some sort of discipline. And it gets harder to do when you have so many other things besides classes or jobs or even extracurricular activities. Without discipline and saying, hey, no, I can't go out tonight. Because you're going to have those friends that be like, come on, it's just one night. You know that boy you like gonna be there. Like, we all been there. Ishmael been there. He been at the club. But when that paper is due, you're going to truly regret it if you didn't do your best work or if you get a failing grade because you was at a party that happens every other weekend. Like, come on, you don't want to do that.
And don't let the party be whack, but that's another conversation. So we talked about the parties, we talked about the discipline, we talked about the fact that there are going to be papers and assignments and homeworks, and you're getting them from all your different classes. As a professor, Professor Noel, let's talk about what your expectation is of a student. Because I had a student say to me, is it true that all the professors are mean? Is it true that all the professors are out to get you? Let's really get it from a professor standpoint. And let's talk about that for about 2 minutes before we get into how we get in trouble with social media.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Shirley, for the question. For are all professors out to get you? The short answer is no. We're not all out to get you, and we're all not mean, because I'm not mean. I'm a very nice guy. I really enjoy having conversations with my students and encouraging them and finding out how they're doing throughout the day. They don't care, and I experienced that as a student as well. But our expectations as professors, there's one word that we really love. There's one word that if you achieve this one word, that you will be successful, and that's effort. One of the nation's greatest
See, that's what happened with technology. You take control of technology.
And looks like my internet is going out. But public speaking is one of the nation's greatest, or whatever the case is. And they're like, I'm never going to speak in public. Why do I have to take this class? So students already walk into my classroom with some apprehension. Easy for them, always create an environment that's conducive for them to learn and actually perform. And some students, they do worse than others, but I don't really judge students on who's the best or who's worse. I really look at the effort and progression of the students. And so professors, they want to see that you're trying. So this past semester, obviously COVID-19 played a very big role in just interrupting our semester. And a lot of students, they dropped off, and some students stayed consistent. So one of my students, he actually is from Japan, and his parents told him to come home. And he was still attending our virtual classes every single day. So another one of my students, he was from the Turks and he's from a different country, and there was constantly power outages, and so his laptop was burnt and it didn't work. And so for about a month and a half, he couldn't attend class. But when he eventually got it back working, he came in, he emailed me, he called me, his mom called me, and they did all the work that they were missing, and he ended up passing with a very good grade. But some students, they never emailed me, they never reached out, they never told me how they were doing, they never found a way to contact me. And I even give my students my Instagram account. I say, if you can't email me and you don't have my personal number, then slide in my DMs. Like, reach me. I want to be reached so I can help you. And so we want to see the effort.
Listen. When your professor's saying slide in my DM, yo, you know me in a whole different ballgame, okay? Every time I slide in my DM, I don't ever remember my professor telling me to slide in their DM. But that's another conversation. While we talking about DM, that leads me straight into social media. So for some folks are like, you know, our parents that don't do the social media thing, DM. What is a DM? So Ms. Wiggy, kind of talk about that a little bit. but definitely talk about the perils of social media. Some of the stuff that these students post, thinking that they don't, they don't live long and nobody ain't gonna see it. It's not gonna have an impact on me, whether it's to start a business, it's getting a job after high school, or it's, going to college. So we got Ezra and Miss Wiggy. Miss Wiggy, you going next. So you got 2 minutes. Ezra, you up next. Let's roll.
Hello, everyone. So social media is very important. It's not a piece of, it's just a piece of who you are. So if you're on social media, that is an extension of your personal brand. So your first name is something that your parents thought of. They said, like, my name is Widlin, or in Creole, Widlin. My dad thought about how he's going to name me, but my last name tells people who I am and where I come from, right? So when it comes to social media, whatever you put on social media, someone that doesn't know you, that's what they perceive you to be. So if you put something that goes against who you are, how can a professor, how can a college recruiter know that, oh no, that's not who she is, that's not who he is? So you have to be careful about what you post on social media. You have to ask yourself, what I'm posting right now, would I ever share that with my if you're embarrassed to show your parents what you're posting, do not post it. Okay? If you are emotional, this goes out to the ladies, do not post when you're emotional, because you will say things that it's like your friends looking at it like, what is she talking about? I understand you may be dating someone, or they ghosted you. This is not the time to be like, oh, and then you cussing. No. Take some time and think about it before you post it, because just like you're done with high school, like Jency talked about, the money, you get a scholarship, they check your social media just to make sure during the transaction you don't have the money yet, and even if you do have the money, they will ask cash, whatever, the same way you got it, you gotta return it back. Okay, so you want to make sure that your social media is clean as possible. Delete it. It is not delete. It is in the waiting until you decide a senator, decide if you don't, you politician who's on the internet, when you're going and your family's name. All right. Amen.
So Miss Wiggy, if we out with the crew, you know how the girls love to take that picture, right? That cute pose. We might not want to do that, right? Especially if you ain't wearing no clothes, or you not fully clothed, or you out with the crew and y'all all, y'all taking shots. We might not want a video of that on Instagram. And for those of us who think it's cute while we in high school, right, showing all our bread, all our money, and we laying it out in the fan with the weapon and all that, you telling me that's gonna come back and hunt them?
Yes, that can come back and haunt you. A good example, a prime example of showing out your money, trolling the world on social media. He had a court case like 2 years ago. He claimed he filed bankruptcy. He claimed he had no money. 2-3 weeks later, he came out. He had money on his bed, everywhere scattered. Guess what? He had to go back to court. Okay, so please. Oh, sorry. So please make sure whatever you post on social media, you are very careful, and whatever you like on social media, whoever you follow, okay, the groups that you join on Facebook, okay, so please be careful. Those can come back and haunt you for real. Amen.
She said amen. Great advice, Miss Wiggy. All right, So I didn't want some people coming on, and I know I've got a lot of youth that say, but I just don't want to go to college. What if college ain't for me? I don't have 4 years to give. I'm feeling being a nail tech, or I love to do hair. I like to make my girls look good, and or I like to work on cars, like Wilkinson, and we're gonna talk about that. So there are a lot of avenues that young people can still be successful without necessarily having to go to college. So my question to Ezra is, let's talk about some of those. You got 2 minutes, and then we going straight into question and answers from our juniors, our soon-to-be graduates, and then our incoming seniors, because this is really about them. So for any of our people that's following us, or who's watching us on the live right now on any of our platforms, in the event that we go over 5 or 10 minutes, we just want to make sure that we can answer as many questions from the young people as possible. This is just our way of making sure that we're able to provide answers for them that they would have gone to seek in school that they were not able to do before COVID-19. So Ezra?
Yes. So real quick, I have a request. Everybody on this panel, on 3, can we dab? Can we just give a dab real quick? Can we do that? You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't dab no more?
Go ahead.
1, 2, 3.
That's not my generation.
All right. And then for the viewers, listen, can y'all put what year you got graduated? And I'm 03. Put on the chat, put on the comments what year you graduated so we can see who's here. All right. But
hold up. Ezra, you basically asking for a woman's age. Act right. What you doing?
Graduated this year.
I could put 2020. It don't matter.
2020. You don't see my
all right. I'm just saying, but if you're not ashamed, like let your boy know what happened. All right, but listen up real quick, guys. Everybody has a purpose that they have to fulfill before leaving this earth. All right. So you need to find out what that is, because once you find out what that is, then you will have a better idea on what path you need to take. Nails, to do hair. A lot of people have a passion, like they just know how to work on things at the house. They know how to fix the roof. Passion for this phone and technology and break things apart and put it back together. So college is not necessary that people have to take, right? And all you need is to find out what that passion is and figure out what do I need to get to that route, right? So some people that are plumbers, you don't need to go to college to become a plumber, right? And that's one of the highest paying jobs that's out there, right? Get certified. You could charge them a lot of money because there's not a lot of you guys that's out there. I have a friend that he's licensed to fix AC units. He's charging people. That's the jouet right now. Like what y'all say, like that's the play right now. They making money. It's about to get hot in Miami, so he about to make a lot of money. There's a lot of roofers that make a lot of money because of just getting the license. So education is definitely key, but that doesn't mean that you necessarily will have to go to college, depending on what it is that you're trying to do. Like being a doctor, becoming things, there's certain professions that require you to go to college, right? So just to kind of name a couple of professions that doesn't necessarily need a college education, you have a commercial pilot, a dental hygienist, you have a makeup artist, right? You have an electrical power line installer repairer, right? These are some of the top professions that's out right now that does not require a college education, that makes lots of money, right? A network specialist, so things in STEM. So and you think about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship are people that take a financial risk, right, to a particular business, a particular types of service or product. And entrepreneurs are dreamers. You can see in my background, I have my little dream board that I have right next to me. Dreamers are the leaders of this world. We're on Zoom right now. It was an entrepreneur that built this, right? iPhone, it was an entrepreneur. Facebook, it was an entrepreneur. All the things that we utilize today, the airplane, like it was an entrepreneur. It was someone that had an idea. And sometimes your ideas are crazy, and it is. No one thought about a plane until a plane was built. No one thought that chicken and waffles would go together until they put chicken and waffles together. So whatever your idea is,
Chicken and waffles.
Yes,
They
you better,
go
hey,
together.
come on now. You better come on. I'm preaching right now. You better put preach in the comments. Like whatever your idea is. Hey, you know, we want to have a lounge and nails and pedicures. That's what we do. You know, like whatever it is that's in your mind. No one thought of like the USB. Who thought about Uber back in the days? You know us Haitians. Your mom would never let you in a car with a stranger. We do that all the time right now. It's called Uber and Lyft. That's a crazy idea. So all the dreams that you have inside of you, go for it. Try it. You are young. Go for it. You know, study the people that were but you may have an idea that's totally different and just change it up. That's what's important about entrepreneurs. That's what's important about those that go into business that don't necessarily have to go to college route. College was great for me because I learned about discipline. I learned how to research. It was a great skill that I was able to obtain, and you build a lot of great relationships with those in college. So that's a great thing to have, but you may not necessarily have to go that route because entrepreneurs are the leaders of this world, flat out.
Great job. Great job. So now my seniors going out and seniors coming in. This is your opportunity. I'm going to start. Let me see who I'm going to pick on. I'm going to pick on my new seniors, right? So y'all get all those questions out of the way. So let me start. Tequila already ready. So Tequila, I know I asked y'all, what are some of your concerns? What are some of your fears? Throw your question out there. Go ahead. What's the question you got?
My fear and concern is time management. As a junior, towards the end of the year, I've hit a lot of obstacles, such as, you know, joining programs and not being able to turn in assignments on time, or, you know, not having the physical ability to even continue to do. What can I do to manage my clubs and activities and have time for myself so that I'm able to, you know, have a clear mindset and get my college list ready so that I'm able to be ready to take on any obstacles that's coming this upcoming year?
Great question. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a great question, mostly because I was in the same boat as you, especially in high school. What I figured to do was, that's when I started planning as far as figuring out when I could do things. The programs that you're involved in, I'm sure they don't meet every single day. Like the extracurriculars, they don't need you every single day. So what would be best to do is plan a day that you solely focus on one thing. Focus your evenings or after school on one thing and plan that accordingly by week. Like Mondays, I'm gonna focus on the assignments I'm gonna do. Tuesday, I have my program that I'm gonna join, but Wednesday I'm off and I can continue working on this assignment. It's basically trying not to do everything at once, but more so spreading out your time the way that you see fit and that you can do it. Because I know, like, when you have other programs, sometimes you want to excel at those and go to make you stand out. But when it comes to class, at the end of the day, you can't succeed at those programs. Like, especially if you're in sports, for instance, they won't let you succeed if you're not doing well in school. So you're going to have to learn that discipline for yourself in order to plan accordingly. I would do just that when I say, like, Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm going to focus solely on this. I'm not going to touch nothing else. I'm going to focus solely on my classwork. Or Sunday evenings. Sundays are a lot of lazy days for people. Do your classwork during those times and stick to those days so that you can manage your time better with other things.
Great answer. Great answer. Tequila, you got another one? Or can I go to Nakia and come back? You good? Thank you. Nakia, what's your question?
Okay, hi again. I go to a school that has a bunch of students who are students of color, and we have our eyes set on certain institutions that are predominantly white, but we have fears regarding basically assimilating to those cultures, especially entering neighborhoods that aren't as diverse as Miami, possibly if we're leaving the state, and feeling secure when there's so much hate crime that's predominant in our society.
Ooh. Listen to these, see what I'm talking about? Yes, Professor Noel, how do you assimilate? How do you, because I know you're at an HBCU, you have students that are not that aren't African American that are trying to assimilate while they're at that school. But I also know with the body of work you do, you speak at a lot of other universities. Answering her question with the fears that she has, her concerns, how would you help her assimilate, even though they have their eyes set on really big institutions?
Yeah, so I actually want to answer that question not from a perspective of a professor, but as a former student. So there was a period of time when I lived in Orlando and I was a student at Valencia College. But although I was involved at Valencia College, I spent a lot of my time at the University of Central Florida, which is a predominantly white institution. And I was on that campus so much, I was a part of so many clubs at UCF, although I wasn't a student. People thought, they were like, okay, when are you graduating from UCF? And I'm like, well, I'm not even a student here. But the way I was able to sort of ingratiate myself at UCF without losing my own identity was there were a lot of clubs that catered to my interests. So there was a poetry club called Spit that was founded by someone named Shelby. And a lot of African Americans went there. And it was a good mix of white people as well that was there. And so in those spaces where I was a part of, I was with people that I love, I was also with people who were of different cultures. So we were able to learn their cultures while being in our own space. Does that make sense? And so you have to put yourself in positions like that to be successful. And then also understand your culture by doing research and staying connected with your friends group, your friends from back home, if they're positive, and then obviously building that university. And then also,
I also kind of want. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I wanted to add the time management question as well, and there's also a way to use your time wisely is to only spend time doing things that you love. So if you do join a club, don't join a club just because someone told you should do it. And you said, yeah, I'll try it. And then now you feel you must be a part of that club. And now you spend all your time and all your energy on e-board at that club. And then you don't even enjoy doing it, or your friends ask you to go out. And then now you're trying to keep up with a lifestyle of going out every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and using up money that you don't have in order to keep up with a lifestyle that you wouldn't need to keep up with. So, so when it comes to time management, only spend time doing what you love, and don't make commitments that would do you any harm.
Great point. I also want to answer Nakia's question in a way of saying you can't control what other people's bias, racism, what they're dealing with. And don't ever allow somebody else's situation and what they're going through to minimize or hinder you from getting yours. At the end of the day, you got to always remember it's about you becoming the best that you can be. So when you get there, you go for what's yours and you give it your all to succeed, okay? Because there's always going to be people that don't have the same beliefs as you, that don't pray like you do, that don't look like you do, their hair is not like yours. And we can't change that. You are who you are, you accept it. And while you're there, you make the best out of it and make sure that you leave with whatever it was you came to get. Okay. Let me ask some of my seniors. Where are my seniors at? Wilkinson. So I know you got a plan. We've had these conversations, and here you go. You're getting ready to go off. You're leaving home. You're leaving July. What are your concerns? What are your fears? What's some questions you have that we can help you with?
What I fear is, my concern is how everything's gonna be when I first get to Orlando. Like how it's gonna be when I enter the college, like what I'm gonna have to do. My concern is how much am I gonna have to save up? How much am I gonna have to, how long I have to, work to build up.
So that's a good one, and I'm gonna throw that question to Jency and then to Ismail, because I think adapting, trying to figure out where you are in a new territory, and still trying to make your way through school can be a bit overwhelming. And I know, Jency, you work with a lot of that. We're doing onboarding for FIU, so I'll let you speak to that, and then Ish, I'll let you speak to the money aspect, the saving part.
Cool. So for Wilkinson, in your like scenario specifically, you might think that you have a different journey because you're going to a technical school instead of like a regular college university down the street, but no, it's still the same concept. You're going to this school, you're going to start a new chapter in your life. Don't go in with any expectations because expectations might lead to disappointment. Try to put small goals on yourself. So if it has to, even if it sounds like I'm gonna try and make one new friend today, one new colleague, like one other person that I can try to meet one other person just on one day, like do that, because you never know if that person down the road, maybe they're gonna have their own company and they're gonna be like, yo, I want to hire you as my right hand man, or vice versa. Try to go in with an open mind. Try to not let yourself be hindered by any like doubts or fears, because that's only gonna go downhill. Try and like put your best foot forward since the very beginning. Something that is really like good very beginning, you show your professors that you're there to get an education and that you're gonna work hard, that you're not gonna just like let anybody step on your toes. You're your own person and you're there for a reason. So hold on to that, try not to let that go, because look at you, you're like moving on to like start something new for yourself. And I think that that's very important, that a lot of people maybe forget when they're starting a new chapter in their lives. But I think it's really important that you should like hold on to that when you start off.
Ishmael?
Absolutely. I appreciate you, Jency, for saying that, because I mean, it's really important for you to build your network and surround yourself with some like-minded people. But I think me addressing the financial aspect, because I think that's one of the questions that you asked, Wilkinson, is that you wanted to know how you're going to be able to manage when it comes up to money, right? As far as making sure that you're on top of that. Well, I'm going to tell you this. One thing that you got to keep in mind is that as a college I was sitting up here trying to impress everybody, right? And you're going to get the credit cards that are going to come your way. So you got to be careful for that. But the principle is, don't buy things that you don't need with money you don't have to impress people who don't like you. So, and you're gonna fall privy to that, because in college, I mean, in going into the institution, you might find a young lady looking fly. Hey, I want to buy you something. You're nice and hook up with you. But listen, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it, bro. This is the time right now where you have to be very intentional about your money, right? Every dollar matters as a college student, every single buck. I don't know about you guys. I was working all throughout college and I was living off them oodles and noodles, playing spades for me to get me a McChicken, 99-cent right off the dollar menu. Don't judge me, #never mind. But right. So the key is, don't buy things you don't need with money you don't have to impress people who don't like you. And then the second piece of that is, I think you have to be intentional about setting a clear budget. College students who do not have any idea or clue what a budget is. Listen, you are on your own now, right? So the money that you have coming in, it's really simple. You have to assign every single dollar. If you do not assign your dollar will assign itself. Believe me when I tell you. So you want to make sure that you have a budget. How much income am I making versus how much expenses is going out, especially if you're going to be working part-time while going to school. Very, very important. Assign your dollar. Make sure that you clearly know where your money is going. And then, like I said before, don't buy things you don't need with money you ain't got to impress people who really don't like you.
So somebody just told me, I want a tag team. So I'm gonna let them tag team real quick. Ezra, go ahead, real quick.
Yo, Mr. Desir, quick question. What were you going to Orlando to study again?
Cars, automotive.
Automotive. All right. So, here's the suggestion I would tell you, especially as a young Black man going to Orlando. When you go to that technical school, speak to your counselor and tell them you would like to pair up with a mentor, someone that's in that industry. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I have an initiative called School to CEO Pipeline. And the idea is, you know, there's nothing new under the sun. So if there's something that I want to achieve, most likely someone has achieved it. And if I can figure out what their roadmap was, what their mistakes were, I can, you know, I can potentially be as successful as them without going through all the heartache and the headaches. So if you can find someone that's, you know, the end goal that you have, if you could find someone, you know, someone that you can go on the weekends and kind of learn from them, they can motivate you and keep you accountable. Hey, you need to make sure you take that class serious, because that class right there is going to help you to be successful in completing this job on an automotive, you know, things of that nature. So find a mentor that's doing what you want to do, so that way you can be successful and keeps you motivated to, man, because you may not want to study, you know, English or math or certain subjects, but because you have your eye on the goal, it's going to keep you motivated to get to that destination. Okay.
20 seconds, Ismail, and we moving on.
All right. Listen, E said it best. You got to get into mentorship, and he'll tell you, you know, it's very important that you connect with those people. I'm going to say this one last thing. Success leaves clues. Getting around those individuals who are going to be able to help you. Because remember, you're the sum total of the 5 closest people to you. You're the average of those 5 people. So you got to really be intentional about who you're going to have around you when you go up to that technical school, and get around folks that are where you want to be, like Ezra said, so that you can mimic their steps. Because again, success leaves clues.
Okay, so Anne-Laurice, is she on here? Because I kind of lost her. Anne-Laurice, my other senior, if you're on here, your turn. Your question.
A big concern that I have is battling procrastination. So my question is, what are key tips to overcome that? Well, not tips. I'm not going to say tips.
Okay.
What should I do?
Anybody can answer.
Procrastination. I'm going to let Ezra take this one on, and then Katia could tag team, because the producer sent me a nice little text. He said, y'all got 10 minutes.
Oh.
So that means if we got some last minute questions, let's prep to get them in. Let's keep our questions a little bit shorter so we can wrap up, because I also want to make sure that all of you guys are able to leave them with some tidbits, a takeaway that they could take from tonight and build upon. So Ezra and Katia.
All right, so real quick. So there's a parable in the Bible that talks about, you know, a man that had, you know, talents and didn't use it, right? And he lost it. So procrastination, you're risking your own potential, right? You want to get, like I said, you know, you want to get to the spot, because you're not the only person that has the same dreams. So you want to hurry up and get to that spot as soon as possible. Figure out your personality. Are you a morning person? Are you a night person? You know, so to figure out what's the best way for you to study. Some people like to study by themselves. Some people like to study in a group. You know, so you have to really figure out yourself and what motivates you. Some people like to study with music. Some people don't. So you have to figure out what's the best routine for your life. You know, so that way you can maximize and get things done at a proper time, because emergencies will happen. You know, your laptop will crash on you. Trust me, it will crash on you. The internet is gonna go out. You know, the presentation that you had, you forgot to save it. I'm telling you, make sure you go through things as soon as you can, the best way that you can. You know, that's gonna motivate you, and you will be successful.
Yeah, also that's perfect advice. Also, to add on that, I feel like a lot of people believe like they work their best at the last minute, and I am one of those people sometimes too, but that is not true, in the sense of, if you work that hard and that good at the last minute, imagine what you would think of in the time before. Like, if you give yourself the time from before, imagine how much better you would be. And I feel like if you put that in your mindset, like, I want the quality of my work to overset like the time that I set myself to do it, imagine how great that paper would be, or that assignment would be. In college, it's a lot harder to procrastinate, because I know in high school you be like in class, like, what's the answer to this homework assignment we just got? Like, it's not going to be like that when you have a 6-page paper. It ain't no like, what was the answer to this? It's pass or fail the day you come in. So it's going to be a lot of like, again, set yourself up to plan accordingly. Get a planner, set alarm clocks, use the resources that we have, the resources that we are lucky to have in order to set that up for yourself, because like procrastination in college is a lot harder than it is in high school and in any other setting. So don't set yourself up for failure that way.
Gen C, 15 seconds.
Super quick. Okay, so in college, there's a lot of teachers that love to do group work. You do not want to be that one student that like waits till the last minute to turn in the entire project, because everybody else will turn on you and tell the professor, and then you're going to get an F. So they're going to just do the project without you, and then you're going to get the F. So really important, like don't be that student that does stuff on the last minute. Okay, that's it.
See, that's what I'm talking about. All right, any more questions from my seniors? Because I want to, before we go around, any more questions from my seniors? Wilkinson, no, you good? You got a question? You good. Tequila.
Okay, one last question. Since it's like the time where it's adulthood, one thing that I know I'm going to experience is stress. So which is some ways I can tackle it to be less stressed and motivational so that I can be able to overcome this obstacle and have a clear mindset and get myself ready.
Ishmael, I'm gonna let you take that.
Listen,
I'm gonna go to you.
Listen, when it comes up to stress, one thing that my mentor, Dr. Phil, says all the time, he says, you want to highlight the priority and return the pressure. Let me say that again. Highlight the priority, return the pressure. In other words, you want to make sure you prioritize what's important to you in that time, in that space that you're in, and return the pressure to everything else. The reason why a lot of us are stressed is because we take on things that we can't handle during that moment. And I think for us, we got to remember that burnout is not you doing a lot of something, is doing any amount of the wrong thing. So you want to highlight that priority and return the pressure. Figure out what's priority for you. This is what's priority for me. Don't y'all be stressing me with anything else, right? If it's not on my priority list, right, you're going to have to take a back seat. And that includes parents as well, too, in a gentle way so you don't catch a sabot. But, for the most part, you want to highlight what's priority to you and return the pressure to everything else. Figure out what's important to you in that season of your life.
Great answer. So what I want to address as we wrap up is I want to go around and kind of ask all of my experts, for lack of a better term, my panelists, what is one or two takeaways that as they are juniors getting ready to become a senior, or a senior getting ready to go to college, or post-graduation? What's the takeaway? What's something you guys wish someone would have told you in their position? I'm gonna start with Jency.
For me, I want to focus it on the juniors. Something that I wish somebody would have told me is that I could start looking for scholarships my junior year. So this summer, right now, like before senior year, you can start looking for those scholarships. Sometimes some scholarships apply. So take advantage of that, and then also enjoy your senior year, because I know that right now you're going to be at the top, and I know that once you enter college, like you'll be a freshman again, but take advantage of like your seniority.
It is first. Let me see who I'm gonna go to. Let me go to Wiggy, because I really want for Wiggy to really stress the importance of social media for me, please, because a lot of these young people just feel like, it is what it is, no big deal. I'm on TikTok with all these videos, Snapchat, IG. The school not gonna check all that. The job not gonna check all that. So what's your what's your takeaway? Real quick. You're on mute, Miss Wiggy.
Sorry. Just remember, when you go there, don't forget who you are, where you come from, because when you go to college, you're gonna have like so many people come to you. You're gonna join clubs. You're gonna have people tell you what to do, and they're gonna force you to do things. And just remember who you are, where you come from, so that it does not, whatever you transform to while you're in college, to your social media, whether it's something that you're doing that is positive, or whether it's something that you're doing that is negative. So just make sure that you're doing positive things, so that when you post it, people understand what are you about and where you come from and what you're doing. That's it.
Great one. Az, your What's a takeaway that you want to give them?
All right, listen, man. Takeaway is your passion. There's a lot of friends from, to do certain things that you don't really have in your heart. So my takeaway is your passion, because there's something inside of you that this world needs, and we need for you to discover it as soon as possible. So, the sooner that you can figure that out and fight for your dreams, man. Fight for your dreams. Go after what you need to go after. There's gonna be a lot of tribulations and tests, but you got to go through it, because there's something on the other side that we need in this world before you leave this earth.
Good stuff. Katia.
I have two takeaways. The first one is to use what you have to plan better. And the second one is it's never too early to start planning. Like Jincy said, juniors can start looking for scholarships, but also seniors start planning your semesters, like plan your whole first year out, plan what you want to be involved in, plan what you want to do with the time that you have off, plan those things so that once you have a set goal, you'll be able to plan the steps to that goal much easier if you set those goals early.
Good stuff. Miss Professor Noel.
Yes. The most valuable skill that you can have in the 21st century is the ability to adapt to change. As you see what happened with COVID-19, on a dime, everyone had to go online. Professors, students, university presidents, government officials, everything had to move online. And the people who are successful during this time are the people who can add new skills. So you have to have the ability to adjust to change that's happening around you, and even change that's happening within you. Learn new skills. And last but not least, I love saying this because it's so true. Never forget that your life has a purpose, has a value.
Go ahead. And then we're going to wrap up with Ismail. I'm going to say my closing before. Go ahead, Is.
Well, listen, students, we want you to start strong, but not only start strong, but we want you to finish strong. That's why we're here, is to make sure that you not only begin this journey, because in beginning this journey, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started in order for you to become great. And we strongly believe that. And when it comes up to you finishing strong, what you want in life is going to show up in conversation. You could talk about all you want, but what you expect in life is going to show up in your behavior. And that you are demonstrating that you have the aptitude to learn, aptitude to change, like Professor Noel talked about, and of course, to be the best version of yourself. And I'll leave you off with this. This is the time. Start small, but act fast. Remember that. Think big. Start small, but we want you guys to act fast. We congratulate you and salute you.
So I could not, y'all didn't think I wasn't going to get in on this, right? Come on now. So a lot of what we talked about is some stuff that we really hope you'll take away. So we talked about budgeting. We talked about time management. We talked about mentorship. Black and brown communities are not big on mentorship. So I'm going to speak to the folks who may be listening, who may be older than these people. Volunteer yourself to be a professional mentor. Nothing moves these young people quicker up the ladder than some real professional mentors. The other thing that I want to say that we really talked a lot about, I think that word was repeated at least 22 times, is the word passion. No one can give you passion. You're born with that. And what you're passionate about may not be what I'm passionate about, but your passion will guide you through some tough times. I promise to you. Your passion will get you from point A to point B. And the last two things I want to say to you is, remember that you are part of a community. Your community is only as strong as you are because you stand on shoulders of giants. And then you need to be in a position where someone else can stand on your shoulders and be paying this forward. And the very last thing that I always like to tell my young people, do what you have to do what you want to do. See, you might be thinking, oh, I don't want to do this right now. It's not about what you want to do. You got to do what you have to do so that you can do what you want to do. I hope we didn't bore you. I want to thank all of my panelists. We would definitely be back. This group was amazing. Thank you to my juniors. Thank you to United Way Youth Violence Institute. Thank you to the team chat. Thank you to all of my panelists that took time on a on a dime that said, yes, I want to do this. MC Image, I want to thank you. And to my entire U-Turn team, thank you, thank you, thank you. To my seniors, go out there, make something of yourself, make yourself proud, make your community proud. But most importantly, remember who you are and always remember whose you are. We love you, we support you, and we all want to say congratulations, graduate. Go change the world. Make them put some respect on y'all name. We love y'all. Y'all have a good night.